is an extremely useful tool in day trading that most traders think they understand, but don't. And once you understand how to use it, trading becomes a lot simpler. And I know this because that was me for years. For a long time, I was completely unprofitable, trying every new indicator and system I could try, always feeling like I was one tweak away from finally becoming profitable. Nothing was ever consistent though, but everything changed when I focused on one thing: support and resistance. And now after mastering it, I trade about 60 minutes in the morning before going to my full-time job. And I do all of it live for free in front of thousands of people on YouTube. I built a routine that almost felt too simple to work, but it does. It took me from barely making $50 to trade to now making $2,000 in 20 minutes. Not because I found some magic indicator, but because I mastered this simple, repeatable process. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I use support and resistance every single day to build a foundation you can actually scale with and start trading today. So let's jump into the basics. Before I show you how support and resistance works, you need to understand why it works. Because I think this is the part most traders skip and why it's exactly the reason they keep failing. Let me explain. Support and resistance, think of it like the floor. It's the area where the market is more likely to bounce and push higher. So it's where you want to be looking to buy. And resistance is the ceiling. It's where the market is more likely to stall out and reverse lower. So it's where you want to be looking to sell. And that's really the whole rule book. If the price is near support, I'm only looking to buy. If it's near resistance, I'm only looking to sell. It keeps you pointed in the right direction of the market instead of guessing. Now, the reason these levels actually hold come down to big institutions. The hedge funds, the banks, moving billions of dollars. You and I can get in and out of a trade in the blink of an eye because our account size is tiny compared to them. But when a fund wants to buy, say let's $2 billion of something, they can't just buy it all at once, or they push the price too far in the direction that they want and get a terrible trade entry. So instead, they sit with a limit order at a specific price and let the market come down to them and slowly jump into trade over time. That's why the market can bounce off of an area multiple times. The main reversal levels are basically just watching the big money quietly defend a certain price. The other thing that creates such levels is round numbers, psychological levels. Something like 29,000 on the NASDAQ, or a bigger one, 30,000. They're just easy, obvious places for people to put orders or focus on, and they can cause real reactions. But here's the thing, you have to keep in mind, every level eventually breaks. Either those big institutions' orders get filled and there's nobody left defending it, or the buying and selling just finds a new balance. So the real skill isn't just spotting a level, it's knowing which ones are actually worth trading and which ones are about to fail. If you ignore everything else in this video, pay attention to this. Drawing a level is the easy part, but knowing whether it's strong or weak actually keeps you from losing. The most basic thing I look at is at least 2 touches. I don't want to bet that there is a level somewhere after the market has only hit it once, because I have no idea how price reacts there a second time. But when a market comes into an area 2 or 3 times and keeps reversing off of it, now that's where I can be more confident that the third time comes around, it might bounce. I'm also looking at how clean those reversals are. Does the market snap off the level fast and hard, or does it just kind of ooze away from it? A fast, clean reaction tells me there is money sitting there waiting to buy. And these don't have to be flat horizontal lines either. You can have trending levels, a diagonal level that the market keeps bouncing off of. And it works on the exact same concepts. Horizontal or trending, I just want to see multiple clean touches before I trust it. A weak level is basically the opposite of all that. It's one you draw off of a single swing with one touch, and a lot of time it's fighting against a strong trend. If the market's ripping higher and I try to call some brand new high as resistance, that's really unlikely to hold because the trend is just too strong. And the moment price slices through a level like that, I'm done with it. I delete it off my chart and actually move on. It's not a level anymore, and paying attention to that is only going to cost me. Now, sometimes the level breaks and then turns into opposite of what it was. The market pushes up above a resistance level, then comes down and retests that old high and bounces higher off of it. I call that a break and retest, and it makes a really clean stair-step pattern when the market is in a strong trend. Some people trade almost nothing but that, and it's essentially where support or resistance can flip, where resistance in this example turns into support. But here's the trap, and I think one that gets beginners every single time. The market breaks above a previous high, and everybody assumes, okay, it's in a breakout, so it's going higher. And that's not how it works. A lot of the time, it's a failed breakout. Price pokes just barely above the high, traps everyone who bought thinking there's a huge momentum breakout, and then reverses hard back down. And that right there is exactly how some of my big trades work out. I look for a failed breakout and reverse it. So learning to spot these isn't only about avoiding the trap, it's actually where some of my best trades happen from. But knowing what a strong or weak level looks like is really only half of it. In the moment, with real money on the line, you still have to decide which way it's actually going to break. And that's where most people freeze. So how do you actually tell in the moment whether a level is gonna hold or break? Let me show you on a real trade that I recently made over $2,000 in. And just to prove you this isn't hindsight, I'll walk you through a live recording from my actual stream that day of me taking this in front of thousands of people. Now, the big picture rule I come back to constantly is this. When you're in doubt, look at the big picture. For example, look at the market right here. It has bounced off of this area down here multiple times. This is a 15-minute chart of the NASDAQ. And over multiple days, every time it comes down to this level, it reverses. Roughly thinking about that, as it comes down here again, well, it seems pretty logical that it will reverse at some point. And this is honestly the most important thing I can tell you in this entire video. I use the big picture to confirm about 90% of my trades. If the big picture trend and also big picture levels do not align, there's no trade. I lost so much time and money early on getting sucked into something like a 1-minute chart and the patterns there. Well, the big picture was just saying this is not a spot trade. And now I want to actually give you the 5 checks that I use every single level before I enter in a trade to make sure it's a solid level. And again, these 5 levels stack. Missing one can mess everything up. So stick with me through all of them. Now, the first check is higher time frame. The thing I like to look at most is the levels on either a 15-minute chart, a 30-minute chart, or a 60-minute chart. And sometimes a 5-minute chart. But generally what you can do is you'll see the same swings on all those. What I'm looking for is the major swings in the market, not all these little levels. What's it doing between these? It's looking at the major swings in the market and what those are doing. The second check is using those actual extremes, like I just said, looking at where the extremes in the current market is. And right now, zooming out a little bit, right here, we're in this pretty big range. Another extreme could be all the way up here, but over the last few days, down here is the extremes and up here is the extremes. Here is the middle of the range, and I highly recommend always staying away from the middle of the range. It's very hard to predict. Now, the third check is multiple touches. Like I said earlier, you want to see the market touch an area multiple times. That increases the likelihood of it holding. Otherwise, something like this middle of the range, you can say, okay, well, there's, maybe 1 touch here or 2 touches here, but it easily blows through that level. Or there's a couple touches here. This I would count as one major swing. Now, the fourth one is having strong moves off of those levels. Now, you can see a lot of the times, the first time this came down, it had a huge spike off this level. Eventually gave that back up, tested it, but then it had a pretty big bounce again. Tested it again. This is what I would call a failed breakout, where the market here broke out. A lot of people might think that they are gonna get short here, thinking that it's gonna break out and go lower, but instead it flipped on them. And so this is what I call a failed breakout. So it tested it again, and it was a pretty strong bounce off of the initial level every time it really bounced. And so the fifth one, I think, is probably one of the most important game changers for me, was thinking about things in terms of zones. So instead of, drawing lines perfectly at these levels and thinking, okay, I have to wait for it to come down and touch one of these levels exactly, thinking of it as, okay, the market's bounced here, it's bounced down here, it's bounced here, it's bounced here. Essentially, it could bounce anywhere in this zone. And even, you could even pull this up a little bit here. It's very subjective, but the big thing is that you are focusing on, okay, it could bounce down here somewhere. And on the big picture, when I see it move down, I'll be looking for it to bounce somewhere. It might be quickly, it might be longer, it might fail breakout before it bounces. But that's how you really can focus on the important levels to actually trade. And then from there, what I do is I go into a smaller time frame as it comes down to this level to look for some reversal patterns and it to slow down on something like a 1-minute chart. And then I jump in and capture the move up. But the move up on a 15-minute chart can look like this. And that's very hard to enter in on. So those are the 5 key checks I use to confirm a level. Now let me show you how to actually trade and how I enter in when the market comes down to something like this and I look for that trade. Because there is also a checklist that I use on a smaller time frame to actually jump in profitably and capture these moves. Otherwise, it can be very hard to actually predict where this is going to play out. And so let me bring up now a live recording from this day to walk you through this trade and how it played out. Now, every morning at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, the market opens. NASDAQ futures is what I trade. They open and I look to see how the market opens and reacts to certain levels. And if it has moves that are what I call unhealthy. That is my biggest thing, is I want to see the combination of an unhealthy move into a support zone. And what I consider to be an unhealthy move is actually, if I pull up a 5-minute chart real quick, is when the market on a larger time frame than what you're entering in on has very big sell-off. And you can see here, it's very big sell-off in one direction with no pullbacks. That's an unhealthy move. An unhealthy move is where the market just rips lower in one direction and it's more likely to bounce, versus a healthy trend has pullbacks in it. And you can see a great example right here is another unhealthy move. The market just shoots lower with no pullbacks. And so it quickly eventually bottoms and rips higher. And then it kind of has an unhealthy move to the upside. And then it moves back lower. Versus you can see, here, this is much more of a healthy trend. And so it doesn't have a crazy sell-off very fast. This is what I like to see. I like to see a big move like this into a support zone. And then I'll look for a few key signals that I'll talk about in a second to catch the move back up. And so in this example, on a 5-minute chart, this day had a big sell-off into a zone. And just pulling up the chart here, what that looked like is it sold off very rapidly in an unhealthy way that once, now you can see it's blowing through all these support zones I have. And so just because I have those zones, I'm not blindly buying at a support or a resistance level. If this trend's strong enough, it'll just blow right through them. That's why I like to go to a 1-minute chart to see this trend start to slow down and show, a double bottom or signs of slowing down. To me, you can see this trend is going like this, and so it hasn't really broken that. So what I want to wait for is for it to show some signs of slowing. And so here, this happens very quickly, is we bounce off of a support zone, and then we make kind of a double bottom here and push higher, and it breaks structure here. This downtrend is signified by making lower lows and lower highs. Every time it's very small, but you can see it has a low here, and then it pulls up and makes a lower high here and continues to go lower. And then it makes a higher low here, and then it actually makes a higher high. And so it's broken above this. And so to me, I'm looking to see the market start to shift, right? To do this. And so I am looking to jump in. So I'm seeing that, okay, it's basically done this so far. That's what I'm seeing right here. So I want to see, I'm predicting that, okay, maybe it'll do something like this. I can enter in a buy order in here and capture the swing up. And so that's what this order is right here. I'm waiting to see if it pulls back here and then moves higher. But all of that is confirmed because we have this downtrend that is broken. And again, the big picture always being the most important part is this 5-minute chart. The move down you can see is extremely fast paced. Just look at every time that something like this has happened. We have a huge move here. Once it bounces, it moves up. Big move here. Once it bounces, you get a big bounce. move down. This one not as crazy, but every time off this level, it bounces. And so that's how I make and use the big picture to assume, okay, if we bounce here, we might get a big move off of this level. And then I go into a 1 minute chart to try and get a very accurate entry. Now, I don't like to chase moves like this. I found over time that just doesn't work for me. Waiting for more of a pullback like this, jump in, gives you a much better risk reward ratio. You really want to have a good risk reward ratio in these trades because, if I'm wrong, that's okay. I don't lose that much, right? Like if I'm risking, let's say $500 here, and I'm wrong, I lose 500. But if I'm right and it goes up to here, I make, this is like $2,000 up to here, and up here is probably like $4,000. And so you don't have to be right very often. And so then from there, I just adjusted my entry order based on this moving up higher. And so I'm looking to just enter in on a pullback here. The order gets filled there, and I put my stop below the extreme here. Because my thought process here is, okay, I'm looking for this to bottom. It's scary getting in on a little pullback here on weakness because your brain thinks, well, it's just going to sell off, right? It's just going to shoot lower. It's going to continue this downtrend. You could say, well, there's kind of a downtrend right here, and it's bouncing off of that, and it's just going to do this. Totally possible. But the idea here is that this big picture zone is strong, and that this momentum is moving so fast that once it shifts, it could just do this too, move very quickly. And my signals here of the structure breaking is happening. At that point, I'm just waiting to see what happens, right? You don't want to overmanage things. And I have 5 contracts here. And so once this kind of breaks up here, I actually take some risk off the table by putting my stop loss below this swing. Because my thought is, this is fast enough and this trend is really strong that it could continue lower, and I'd rather just get out. If it's going to work in my favor, I think it's going to work very quickly. And I'm already up $1,000. It's good to try and, take some risk off the table. And then once it kind of pops up here, now I've started to scale out of my trades recently. This is more of an advanced thing that I've started to do. But my thought process is, okay, I'm trying to capture a larger picture swing, but also, if the market moves very fast here in my favor and gives me 3x my risk, if I risk 500 and I get 1500 here, I want to take some off the table. That's the smart, logical thing to do because it could come up here and sell off, or it could come up here and chop around and knock me out somewhere down here. And so it's good to just be aggressive with taking some of the profits off of the trade. So I have 5 contracts here, and so I'm looking to scale out 3 out of 5 if it just pulls back. And so I just have a kind of a tight trailing stop loss. I'll kind of zoom forwards to this to see how it plays out. And I just slowly move it up as this moves pretty quickly in my favor. And once it kind of starts to get, and so you can see here, it actually pulled back, and I took a partial profit here of, I'm up $2,000. It's probably, looks like $1,200 there. I took out. And then here that my thought was, this is so fast that it could pull back here before it moves up. And do I want to hold through that? I'm okay chop here for a little bit before continuing. I'll give it a little bit of room, but I don't want to, I'm not into giving it that much room. And so, I left my stop here, moved it up, and it looks like it's starting to go. And then it kind of just petered out, and I think eventually just knocked me out here. But my trade, ended up still getting about $2,000 on the trade. Now I look for these trades live every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 30 minutes before the stock market opens. So feel free to come watch these in real time. Now I actually have a free PDF guide of my support and resistance checklist that I go through every time that you can download for free. I'll leave that as a link in the description below this video. And if you want to come watch me do this in real time, come check out my live stream every single morning, 30 minutes before the US stock market opens, right on YouTube. And if you want more examples on how this strategy works and how I execute it, check out this video right here.